Hey everybody, it's your friend Big T, and I'm back with another video. Today it is Tuesday, March 21st. I hope you're having a great day so far. If you could do me a huge favor, please hit the subscribe button down below. Let's get this thing to 5,000 subscribers. I greatly appreciate all the love and support you guys have given me so far. Leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think about this video. Today what I'm reacting to is a drphil clip entitled, "Has the Body Positivity Movement Gone Too Far?" So when drphil makes a video about this movement, you know there's probably a problem with it. I don't know what your personal opinion is of drphil. I don't mind him too much. I enjoy some of his stuff. He's a very brilliant man. So let's get into it right now. Oh, also, if this gets blocked, it'll end up on my Patreon. So anyways, let's go.
I've struggled with my weight and my body image my entire life. Kids bullied me for my weight, but I always shrugged it off, thinking, oh, well, they're just like mean kids. When I was 10, my friend's mom told me, Lexi, with those blue eyes and that beautiful singing voice, if you just lost the weight, you could take over the world. So it was particularly soul-crushing to learn that adults were thinking negatively about my body also.
Yes, there we go.
My journey to accepting myself was gradual. I've really made peace with my body. I started creating content for Instagram about 4 years ago to document my own self-acceptance.
What's interesting about this is that in the pictures that she showed from when she was younger and when she was a teenager, she didn't actually look that big. So the fact that people were telling her she needed to lose weight, I think played a part in her psychology maybe, that she just got tired of it and then gave up as she became an adult and then just decided she was going to go full bore in the fat positivity movement. And then her whole identity, I guess, became based around her fatness. I don't know. We'll see.
And body confidence journey. One of the most common troll comments I receive is that I'm promoting obesity. So many people seem to feel entitled to a fat person's personal business and are quick to judge them. When people are berating me online and telling me I'm gonna die by the time I'm 30, it is not inspiring.
Happy Woo!
Will and I are soulmates. He is the love of my life.
I think body positivity is good, but people online have made rude comments to Lexi just because she's fat. It's painful to watch. I respect her tenacity, her fight, and her vigor through it all.
I hope that people can just see me loving myself the way that I am and feel inspired to love themselves the same way.
What's your definition of body positivity?
My definition of body positivity is pretty simple. It's self-acceptance, radical self-acceptance, regardless of whether you're as healthy as you'd like to be, or whether you love how you look, or maybe sometimes you don't. It's the belief that no matter how you feel in that moment, you know that you are deserving of good things and respect and dignity.
Well, here's the thing with that. And I said it a little bit in yesterday's video. We're not saying that you should hate yourself. We're not saying that you have to be a skinny twig. We're not saying that at all. And I got a few comments from people yesterday saying, well, you know, being skinny isn't healthy either, and that seems like what I'm promoting. It's like, no, I'm not trying to promote people to have to be skinny. I don't think I will ever be skinny. That's not my goal here. I'd be happy at 250 pounds. I might have a little bit of fat on me, but I think at my height I'd look pretty good. I don't know. We'll see when I get there. If I'm happy, if I'm comfortable, fine. What we're saying is that, yeah, you're absolutely going to have problems the bigger and bigger that you are. I'm only tackling people who are 100, 200, 300 pounds overweight. That's where my problem comes in, is when you're that big and then you try to deny the science behind it, try to deny that it causes any kinds of health issues, and you're dragging people along with you by creating this whole movement or contributing to the movement and telling this lie that it's okay to be obese and that it has no health ramifications whatsoever at all. That's where I have a problem. Because I say, look, I've been there. I've done that. I have the bad knees to prove it, right? So I know it causes problems. I know my heart was getting worse. My blood pressure was getting worse. Because I went so many years with no problems whatsoever being obese. And so it's very easy to believe into the lie that there is no problem with obesity. But as you get older, those problems start to creep in.
Okay, how many of you, just by a show of hands, would support what she's just saying with her definition? Okay, how many of you would say, I got a problem with that? Okay, a couple of wafflers. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I sort of agree with her that you should love yourself. You should have a positive view of yourself. And again, this whole thing is not hatred. We're not fat phobic because we say that there's health problems with obesity and you should probably start considering losing weight. It's not about telling you you should hate yourself, and it's not us saying that we hate you. That's not it at all. We're not saying that you should have a down opinion about yourself. Yeah, there are some trolls out there who will call you a fat pig and make fun of you and everything else like that. That happens. I've had it on my own page. People telling me that I'm fat. Saying I'm a hypocrite because I talk about other fat people when I myself am fat. So I get that. I understand the trolls. They're out there and they're going to make fun of you. But again, my whole point is not to tell you that you need to be skinny or that you need to hate yourself or that we need to hate fat people. That's not it at all.
Okay. I'm raising my hand because I got a problem with that.
All right.
Do you define it pretty much the same way?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. Then I got a problem with both of you two. So you're in trouble.
We can work it out,
Yeah,
I think.
I bet. Now, here's my problem. See, I think in this society, I think we have always confused body image with self-image. I think they vary together and should not. We have a good body image, our self-image goes up. We have a poor body image, then our self-image tends to go down. That shouldn't be the way it is. Would you agree?
I agree that how you view your body shouldn't be the only thing that makes you feel good about yourself. That's what I think body positivity helps with. If you start to change how you see yourself, if you start to approach your body image with a sense of compassion and tenderness, then you start to see yourself in a more gentle light rather than like a harsh criticism. And so when you are feeling negatively about your body, instead of it making you feel negatively about yourself altogether, you can say, I feel negatively about my body today, but I'm going to show myself kindness and compassion, and I'm just going to say, you're doing your best, and tomorrow's a new day. And then that way you kind of lift up your entire self-image.
See,
But that's kind of a lie in itself, right? Because you're not doing your best. That's why you adopted the whole fat positivity movement, is because you don't want to try. You don't want to do your best. You don't want to fight for your health. I guarantee you, if you lost weight, you would absolutely feel better about yourself. You would. Your body would feel better. You would be healthy. You would feel great. Mentally, you would feel better. I'm learning that myself. The more I lose weight, the more confidence that I have, and the better I feel, and the more active I can be. And that's going to be the same way with you. Once you start losing weight, you're going to get healthier. You're going to feel better. You're going to be more confident in yourself. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some work. But if you say that, I'm just, feeling like, hey, I did my best today, but you're still overweight and you didn't even try, and you're adopting this whole movement to sort of back yourself up and saying you don't need to lose weight and you can try to feel positive that way, that's a lie. You're just lying to yourself at that point. You're not trying at all.
you're contradicting yourself then. You're saying, I don't like my body image, I'm just accepting it, and I'll do better tomorrow. And I don't, see, to me, this.
Exactly. They don't really like who they are at their size. They're just trying to accept themselves at that size because they don't even want to try. See, I've been saying since the beginning that if you're that big, you are miserable. You do hate yourself. But you're trying to adopt this whole policy of accepting yourself as you are because you don't want to change. That's what it is. That's the whole thing right there.
This body positivity says we're not going to focus on body image, we're going to focus on the person inside, but it seems to be totally focusing on body image. What about the health issues? I think most of the critics about this focus on the fact that by seeming to celebrate the body, not your worth, not your value, but to celebrate the body, you're ignoring the health risks.
I mean, that's exactly true. And I see it that way too. You can celebrate yourself and who you are and love yourself and respect yourself. And as a human being, you should be loved and respected as a person. So those of us on this side of it are not trying to dissect the two. We're not trying to throw them in together as one thing and saying that you should hate yourself being fat. No. You deserve respect and love. You are a human being and we love you. We're not fat phobic. We do not hate fat people. But to completely deny that there are health complications with obesity is just absolutely ridiculous. And so those of us on our side who have been there, who've done that, who've had binge eating disorder, who have had eating disorders, who have had addictions to food, who've been through trauma and used food to help us cope and stuff like that, we're trying to tell you, like, we understand that because we've been there, but we've also been rock bottom with it. And we know the complications, we know the problems, we know the illnesses and diseases and the pain and the misery that comes with that. And we're trying to warn you about it out of love and concern for you and your health. Because I've covered too many fat positive people who have died. I think I've made 3 videos on it now, and there'll probably be more videos in the future of people who have died from this. Died from being overweight at 28 years old, at 32 years old, at 36 years old, people who have died. You think, oh, I got 80 years to live, I'm just going to enjoy my life and I'm going to accept myself how I am at being fat. No, you might not even make it to your 30s. You might not even make it to 40. There's real harm that you're doing to yourself there, and that's not self-love to keep harming yourself. It's not love. You keep harming yourself because you hate yourself, because you're miserable at your size, and rather than wanting to change it, you're just going to go along with this movement so other people can validate you and make you feel better about yourself.
The whole point of fat acceptance, body positivity, body neutrality even, is destigmatizing the fat phobic, toxic diet culture, beauty standards, all of these expectations that are put onto people to look a certain way or to avoid looking a certain way.
You don't have to buy those beauty standards. You're a unique individual who can create your own beauty standards. You can look how you want. You can dye your hair whatever color you want. You can shave your head if you want to. You could look however you want to look. But to deny all the health concerns that come along with obesity and call it toxic is just stupid. And you're playing games with your own life at that point.
It's destigmatizing having a specific body image, destigmatizing fatness, and it's putting an individual's personal experience and their personal journey to the forefront.
At 20 years old, I was at my heaviest weight of 360 pounds. I was really afraid that I was going to, die really, really soon. I decided that I wanted to change my life. I have lost about 100.
Oh, that's Obese to Beast. I didn't know he was in this one. Okay. Let's hear what he has to say.
80 pounds overall, and I've been able to keep that weight off for about 10 years now. I actually started to document my journey on Instagram as well as YouTube. I want to make it very clear. It was rough. It was rough. I also don't believe that losing weight is obviously a bad thing and that you should be shunned for it or made fun of, or in my case, I'm called fat phobic because I've lost weight. I've been called an ex-fat because I've lost weight. I have had a lot of people be very angry at me because I advocate for others that want to lose weight.
Yeah, I mean, I get some of that anger. My channel is still really small compared to his, so I don't get a lot of hate. I don't get a lot of negative comments. I don't get people calling me ex-fat or anything else like that. I'm still fat, so probably that's why they don't come after me as much, is because I guess according to their own rules, I outrank them, which I said yesterday in that video against Fat Sapphic Bro. Hey, I outrank you, bro. Like, so I guess when I do lose the weight and I'm doing this channel, then they'll probably be more prevalent. I'll probably have more subscribers and they'll come after me and say, hey, you're an ex-fat. What are you doing talking to fat people and you're fat phobic and everything else like that. But I guess I can enjoy the fact that they can't say that to me right now because I'm bigger than they are.
Ideal beauty standard, no. I am here to say, if you do want to lose weight, I believe in you. I believe you can do it. It is very hard, but it's worthwhile, and me losing the weight has been one of the best things I've ever done in my entire life.
Well, John, welcome.
Yeah,
You
thanks for
worked
having
really
me.
hard to lose weight, right?
Yeah, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done, yeah.
How much did you lose total?
180 pounds.
That's a whole other person.
Yeah.
Right? And so, do you consider yourself healthier?
Yeah, I mean, I would consider myself healthier, yeah.
There are people that have done what you've done, lost weight. There are celebrities that have done it, Adele, Rebel Wilson, Jonah Hill, that get criticized for losing weight. And you've had people say traitor, you know,
Yeah.
that you've
Why would you criticize somebody for losing weight? Like, they're taking back control of their health. This is what I don't understand about the fat positivity movement. Like, I could understand if you just want to be around people who are like you and everything else like that. But when you start criticizing people for taking back control of their life, taking back control of their disorder or mental health or whatever, and deciding to want to lose weight, you call them a traitor. And you backstab them and you show them hate and you kick them out of the movement. That proves to me, and I said this in yesterday's video, this proves that this movement is not about love and acceptance. It's about complying with your own beauty standards, complying with what you think everybody should be. And the second that they decide that they want to start losing weight, or if they show before and after pictures, or if they're proud of themselves for getting healthy, you hate their guts for it. It's a movement of hatred, self-hatred and hatred towards others who are not like you. Okay? You hate people, and you should stop hating people. You should be glad for people when they decide to take control back. If you can't take control back right now, that's your own problem. You shouldn't feel jealousy and hatred of other people who can do it.
quit on them, right?
With weight loss, I think a lot of people see it as, like they were talking about, some sort of moral success, right? Which, and I can understand how you guys feel, being just feeling like because you're fat, you have people that are attacking you, regardless of what you believe, regardless. I get it. I was there. I know what it's like, and so I think you guys are doing a great job, by the way. But I have dealt with that. I have dealt with people upset with me, upset with my name on Instagram, Obese, and it's frustrating because at the end of the day, what I care about and what I preach is I want people to be happy and I want people to be healthy. And if someone wants to lose weight, if someone wants to go down that path, I think they should be hopefully do it in a healthy way, but they should have ways to do that and not be made to feel bad about wanting to do that. Because for me, it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. It completely changed my life. And I want people to have that option and feel supported when they are going down that road.
Data is really what matters. And I run lab tests on my clients. So everybody does blood tests, I do stool testing. And fat is an organ, and it influences inflammation, it influences your hormones, and it puts stress on your organs.
That's 100% true, and that's part of the thing that they don't talk about, and I don't even think I talk about it enough on this channel, that fat itself acts as an organ and it influences the rest of your body. It absolutely does. Inflammation, it is just a big ton of inflammation throughout your body. So it sends out those inflammation markers. It leads to increases of chances of cancer. If you're obese, you have a greater chance of developing cancer than people who are not obese. Yeah, you can still get cancer being skinny or being normal sized or being slightly overweight or whatever. Yeah, you can still get cancer. But it's a higher risk of developing cancer. And so people tell me that all the time, like, oh, you could still get cancer as a skinny person. Yeah, but if you smoke cigarettes, you are at a higher risk of developing cancer than somebody who doesn't smoke. So that's what we're talking about on that same wavelength. Being obese gives you a greater chance of developing cancer. And that's what inflammation within your body does. It influences your brain and how you think. It influences your hormones. I mean, it does so much damage to your body that you don't even realize. You might just be thinking about the physical, because that's what I talk about a lot, the knee problems, the back problems, the neck problems, the ankle problems, the pain, the agony, the misery. But we're not even having even scrape the surface of talking about the other influences that obesity has on your body. And I should probably do a video on that pretty soon, maybe even this week.
And eventually those organs begin to fail. And I've seen that over and over on lab testing, and so it's something that we have data to prove. Also, being obese is putting you at risk for all-cause mortality, which is cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and just organ failures, like even the gallbladder is included in that too.
Not to mention orthopedic problems.
Yeah, my gallbladder failed on me, and I was having issues with it, and my surgeon said, hey, how about when we do your weight loss surgery, we'll take your gallbladder out. But it kept failing on me, and I eventually needed to get gallbladder surgery. So that's something that started to fail me too. Like, I had no gallbladder issues, but just about everybody in my family lost their gallbladder. I was the only one who didn't have any issues with it. But again, as I got older and older and older, it started to fail. And there's other organs that'll start failing too because they get clogged with fat. Your liver in particular. It's called a fatty liver. You should look it up. It is very dangerous because at some point it's going to kill your liver if you don't start losing weight. Yeah, your liver packs on fat and it creates these enzymes that cause problems throughout your body. So fat does impact your organs in so many different ways.
Problems, which are huge.
What are
Right.
some of your favorite studies that you've read that aim to research people who are, as you say, obese, so people who are overweight, who don't have organ failure, who don't have orthopedic issues? What are some of your favorite studies and research that you've read exploring healthy fat people?
Well, nothing in medicine's 100%.
Sure.
So you're going to look at data and you're going to look at percentages. And when you look at people who are 40, 50 more pounds overweight, the statistics tends to indicate, and this is very well documented, that they run more problems. It doesn't mean that everybody who's overweight is going to have these problems, but the risk is much greater than a person who is at ideal BMI.
Yeah, that's 100% true. So I'm not always just talking about, and I know I said this earlier, that I'm talking about people who are 100, 200, 300 pounds overweight, but you can still develop problems at 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight. And somebody told me yesterday, she goes, that's completely not true that you can develop problems because I haven't developed problems and I've been overweight my whole life. I'm like, seriously? You could still be that 50 pounds overweight and still not have issues? But the risk of that is greater at that size. So just because that you're 50 pounds overweight and you haven't developed any issues yet, doesn't mean you won't in the future, doesn't mean that it's not impacting your body in some negative way that you don't even realize yet. And it doesn't mean that you will develop problems. People can go their whole lives and be 80 years old and still be 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight with no problems. That can be possible. We're not saying you're absolutely 100% going to get problems at 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight. Once you get 50 to 100 to 200 pounds overweight, yeah, you will develop problems. It might not happen right away. You can go 10, 20 years, but it's a cumulative effect on your body. It starts breaking down. It takes time. The body is very resilient. It tries to create solutions where you're giving it problems. And so, yeah, that likelihood of getting cancer, of getting heart disease, of getting diabetes, of having fatty liver disease, of your gallbladder going out, having kidney problems, all that stuff, orthopedic issues, knee problems, back problems, stroke, all those things. There are over 200 diseases and illnesses connected to obesity. You can just get one of those, you can start getting 5 of them, or you can get all 20 or all 200 of them at some point. It just depends. Everybody's body is different. Our cultures are different. How we eat food is different. If you've been obese for 20, 30 years, you're more likely to develop that than if you just kind of got fat last year and gained 20 pounds and you're trying to lose it again this year. I mean, it's different. It's different.
What
Or
body
healthy
fat is
BMI.
inflammatory. So regardless of how much you have, it is increasing inflammation, and inflammation is the root cause of all disease, regardless of what it is. And so it's important to look at the data in regards to that and really look at, okay, are you insulin resistant? Because insulin resistance can lead to dementia. They're calling dementia type 3 diabetes. And if you're insulin resistant now, then you're setting yourself up for things like dementia in the future too.
I didn't even know that. That's very interesting. That dementia is considered type 3 diabetes and is a result of obesity because that inflammation caused by the fat creates that. That inflammation is constantly released throughout your body. It's going to impact all of your organs, including your brain.
You wanted to say something?
My comment is to the young lady. I wish when I was as young as her, I had paid attention to the dangers. I'm the poster child of everything that can go bad because of weight. I'm going to have open heart surgery on October 10th. I had a heart attack. I have diabetes, high blood pressure, no cartilage on both legs. I need 2 knee replacements. And health is important. And overweight is linked to more health issues.
There's no question about it. You wanted to say?
Yeah, so it's clear that all the numbers that all these studies people are bringing up, more people are becoming overweight, obese. That's clearly happening. I don't think anyone would disagree with that, right? I think it's important to look at, is that really an issue? And if that is an issue, what can we do to solve it? Not what can the fat people do to stop being fat, right? It's more about what can we do as a nation, as a community, what can we do to help people? I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional because I dealt with people constantly telling me I was fat. Guess who doesn't need to be told they're fat? A fat person. I'm telling you right now, I knew, right? And so it was so frustrating to me to have people make fun of you, call you names, say, oh, you're gonna die soon, yada, yada, yada. I knew, right? I knew what was going on. That didn't change the fact that I felt like I couldn't lose the weight. I felt like it was impossible for me.
I think that's a lot of the problem with why people join the fat positivity movement, is because they've been told, if you've been overweight your whole life, like I have, I was 5 years old when I started packing on the pounds. 5 years old. So I've been told my whole life, hey, you're fat, you're fat, you're fat. Kids made fun of me at school for being fat. I had people put me on diets. My grandma wanted to put me on a cabbage soup diet. My mom bought me an exercise bike, and my stepdad made me ride it every single day. I mean, people just go crazy when you're fat, and I understand that. I understand that side of it. And so when you keep gaining weight and you're like, oh, I don't know why I'm gaining it weight, what's happening, and you're frustrated and you keep trying to lose weight and it doesn't work, and then, but you really didn't try. You didn't want to lose weight. You don't see anything wrong with you. And so you don't really get it when you're younger. You just don't get it. And so you kind of like keep growing up with all this pressure and hatred and everything else pressing down upon you. And you keep trying to make everybody else happy when you yourself don't even want to do it. And so you just finally, oh, wow, there's a fat positivity movement out there. There's people who are happy being overweight. I don't have to keep trying anymore. I can just be myself and be happy, even though you're deep down inside, you know you're miserable. And so that's why it's easy to join that movement, because you don't really realize why you're fat when you're younger. And I know that sounds weird, because it's like, it's obvious to everybody else who's like, well, you ate too much, right? You eat too much food, that's why you're fat. But it's so much more than that, because it is an addiction. It is a result of trauma. And I'm going to probably do a video on, I did one that how ADHD is connected to obesity. I'm probably going to do one on SA, or sexual assault, how that leads to obesity and stuff like that. Like the connection between it. Not everybody who's experienced that becomes obese, but there's a connection between that, and how people cope with certain traumas in their life with food. And if it's not food, it's with sex, it's with other things. People who have been sexually assaulted are more likely to become hypersexual. Not everybody. People who are molested as kids are more likely to become pedophiles when they grow up. Like, all these things are connected to it. So trauma leads to a lot of disorders and problems when they become older. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that in another video. So look out for that if you're interested in that conversation. But yeah, I mean, I could see why people join the fat positivity movement. And I'm not trying to sit here and say that I hate you if you join that movement. But if you're going to deny all the science, the overwhelming science, then yeah, just like I said to Fat Sapphic Bro yesterday's video, you're ignorant. You're ignorant if you're going to deny all that.
And so what I try and do as just a dude is I try and show people I was able to lose the weight. And if you want to, you can.
Your life is yours to live, and you're going to make the choices. I'm just saying, deal with reality. You know, deal with reality. If I'm a big one for science, if anything that I've said today, it won't withstand challenge, throw it out. Fact check everything I've said. And if I'm wrong and obesity doesn't put you at higher risk for diseases, throw it out. Don't listen to me. Fact check me. Do these things for yourself, but deal with reality. And I want to be sure you understand that I don't conflate issues. And self-image and body image, I don't put those together. One is at risk for your health, and I care about people and want them to live as long and healthy as they can. You as people, as individuals, I've enjoyed having you here. You've been great for this conversation and debate. You've been very nice, very pleasant. And if we talk about this some more, I hope you'll come back and contribute to the conversation again.
Absolutely. Thank you for
And
having us.
I hope you're glad you came. I've tried to treat you with dignity and respect because I do respect both of you, and I
we
hope you'll
respect
come
you
back.
so much. Thank you.
Workplace bullying can.
All right, so that's the clip, but there was a clip at the very front that I skipped over because I thought they were going to cover it later in this clip, but they didn't. So let's go back to the very beginning here. It's very interesting. Let's watch.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. Has the body positivity movement gone too far? Based on science, if you're overweight, you're at risk for diseases.
I disagree with you.
So you would reject the science.
People of a higher weight are more likely to survive heart attacks. So many doctors are middle-aged white men. And
okay, so that's what I wanted to cover as well. To say that overweight people are more likely to survive heart attacks, that's conflating the reality of the situation. You're having heart attacks at a younger age. So you're probably more likely to survive a heart attack the younger that you are, that you have your heart attack. So if you're in your 20s and 30s and even early 40s and you have a heart attack due to your obesity, you're more likely to survive that than, let's say, somebody who's 50, 60, 70 years old and has a heart attack. Like, your body's still strong. But as you get older, your heart gets weaker and weaker, and you're less likely to survive a heart attack. So it has nothing to do with obesity. It has everything to do with the fact that you had it younger, at a younger age, than somebody who had a heart attack when they're older. So that's what that reality is. You're conflating the evidence. And second, to say that the science is done by middle-aged white doctors and researchers, what does that have to do with anything? Like, this is what I don't get about all this woke stuff, okay? And if you're in the woke stuff and whatever, then that's fine. I'm not trying to come after you. But to say that research that comes from middle-aged white people should not be followed, should not be looked at, should not be taken seriously because it's from a middle-aged white person? Like, you're just going to throw all that science out the door because they're white and they're middle-aged? Really? You're only going to accept it from a colored person or somebody who's younger? Like, really? I don't understand that point at all. Like, it's just dumb that research from a white person is not as important as research from a black person or from an Asian person or from whatever. Insert race here. Like, it's just stupid. It's stupid. You're just trying to find excuses at this point to stay fat. That's all it is. But that's all the time I got for today on this. I hope you like this video. Again, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless you.